Hello everyone and welcome to today's stream. I'm TheNando and today we have quite a peculiar and special stream on our hands. I was traveling recently, I arrived yesterday, so I'm still recovering from the flight and everything. But yeah, I was traveling abroad, I was traveling through the Netherlands and I gathered quite a bit of pictures and I'm going to share pictures, I'm going to share some stories, some adventures of my journey. And let me just say hello to Alexi Devil over there on Twitch. Hello. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week, at least here in Portugal. The sun is shining outside, it's a very lovely day. And spoiler alert for my trip in the Netherlands, I was also very lucky with the weather. Lately, wherever I am, it is sunny, which is quite nice. I'm still wearing shorts and shirts. We are arriving at October, and I mean, I'm not a huge fan of excessive heat, but the weather has just been perfectly fine. I'm still a little bit tired from the trip because I'm the kind of person, once I board a plane, I fall asleep. There's no way around it. I just relax so much. And I'm someone who is usually very active. I'm always doing this and that and this and that. Whenever I have a time to sleep, I usually do it. And that's what happened in this trip. So when I returned, I arrived to Portugal and it was night and I slept on the plane, so when it was actual night time to sleep and to rest, it was a little bit harder to fall asleep, but it is all okay. And starting with my story, let me go on to this view exactly with the pictures. This is my picture from the airport here in Portugal, the traditional I'm off to the part on a journey picture. And I boarded the plane, and first thing I did was, of course, put my stuff and everything and then fall asleep. Like, immediately. Not 1 minute had passed. We didn't even have the we're going to give you emergency. You may want to pay attention because it may be different from other flights you've boarded before. No, sorry, lady or sir, but I've boarded quite a few flights and the instructions are almost always very similar. So I just fell asleep, and let me just say hello to Photon, aka Van, over there on YouTube. Salut, welcome. So I arrived on the plane, and first thing I did was fall asleep. And due to the pet all cat in the Netherlands, 90% of the cats in the entire Netherlands were petted. Yes, I did complete my objective. So I fall asleep on the plane, and then I wake up, and we were still we haven't departed yet. And I was like, oh, did I just sleep for like 1 minute? I look at the time and 1 hour had passed. And people were annoyed, so I discovered that there were delays. But I mean, for me the delays was just 1 hour of sleep. And then I fell asleep again, and I woke up and we were landing. So I slept for 3.5 hours. Some people get frustrated, some people get flustered. For me, I mean, yeah, I slept for 3.5 hours instead of 2.5 hours. That was the delay in the flight, but it was all okay. I did arrive to the Netherlands. Oh, this was before leaving to the Netherlands. It was my breakfast. I did want to have some good a cappuccino and a croissant before leaving. And yes, there are food pictures here. And yeah, I arrived at the Netherlands. I had to travel within the Netherlands, like take a train and things. But my first meal, I was starving, was of course some fries, both in Belgium and the Netherlands. Fries are quite good, and of course sometimes you want something more fancy, some patate oorlog with like the peanut sauce and onions. Sometimes you want fancy, but I feel like both in the Netherlands and Belgium, fries that you can get like at any place, there's fry stores everywhere, they're just so tasty, the base flavor, and their mayo is always also good. I don't know how they do their mayo, I don't know if there's a different technique, I don't know how it works, but fries with mayo in Portugal do not taste like fries with mayo in the Netherlands or in Belgium. So I just grabbed some fries with mayo, that was my lunch. They are great, but a warning, if you have beard and mustache like me, they can be tricky to eat. It was quite a challenge to keep my mustache clean from the mayo. This is in the train station. I just bought them there and waited for the train. Oh, these are just some traditional snacks I had. I always like to have food whenever I visit. These are kooidennoten and pepernoten. The pepernoten were so good. They taste like, I think the name is anise. The plant. They are often reported to be something that you either like or you hate. I really enjoyed the pepernoten. The kooidennoten felt more normal, more like a cinnamon snack that everyone would enjoy. The pepernoten, the ones on the right, were more peculiar. They were more unique flavor, but I enjoyed them more. I'm definitely team pepernoten. These were just some snacks I had. I really like to have some traditional food whenever I travel. These are more Christmas time, if I remember correctly. People often eat them around December, around the time of winter, the Christmas. But I mean, I'm traveling now. I'm not traveling during the Christmas. I'm not going to quote-unquote respect traditions. I want them, I eat them. I had the peppernoten and the kruidnoten, they were good. Especially the peppernoten, became a huge fan. And yeah, this is my first day of visiting, and this is arriving to Amsterdam. My first trip in the Netherlands, my first day was spent walking in Amsterdam, and when I say walking, I do mean walking. I walked 25,000 steps. If you do not know how many steps there are, it is a lot. 25,000 is quite a few bunch of steps. The weather was lovely. You can see a little bit cloudy, but if it was more sunny and the sun did open up in the afternoon, it almost became too warm. Yes, I went from Portugal to the Netherlands. I was afraid of, oh, will I get very cold weather? Not at all. The weather was lovely. I could just walk around, have a good time, wearing some shorts and everything. Lovely, lovely weather. And yeah, this is me arriving at Amsterdam, right in front of the station. This is the start of the day. I arrived Thursday, but of course I arrived late, just sleep, and this is Friday morning. Guess who's back? Hello, Credentost! I'm back, and Credentost's back. Everyone is back. So far it was just the introductions. Now this is first day, Credentost. I'm at Amsterdam. And yeah, as you can see, first thing you see in Amsterdam, of course, canals everywhere. You're in the Netherlands, you can expect to see a lot of water and not a lot of mountains. It is weird. When you're traveling by train, I'm from Portugal, if you're from a country that has quite a few mountains, you do feel it's strange, it's kind of uncanny. Looking at the horizon and seeing no mountains, it is strange how much you take those things for granted. You do not expect to be missing mountains, but you do miss mountains. It's like when you're on an island and you see the ocean 360 degrees around you on a small island, those things have different vibes to it. I guess the tourists enjoy fairy tale ending on those boats. Yeah, there's a lot. I didn't go for any of the boats or everything, but there were boats scattered everywhere. Rent a boat, go through the canals. There was a lot of boats. Some more decorative, some more cheap, there were boats. I mean, Amsterdam is definitely a tourist city. Usually, when you visit a country, I feel like the capitals have a very different vibe to the rest of the country. And Amsterdam is one such case. By the way, I forgot to preface this. I have been to the Netherlands quite a few times. I have traveled a lot to the Netherlands. And I like visiting a country more than once, because I feel like the first time is always the most stressful one. Because you feel the obligation to, oh, I need to do X, I need to do Y, I need to do this. Once you've been to a country a lot, you can just walk around a little bit, you're way more relaxed. And yes, if you want to find partners, you need to go to the relationship. That's a good one. There were a lot. The Dutch and puns. You go to a cafe, there's a pun. They had puns everywhere. If you're a fan of a good pun, the Netherlands is the place for you. And yes, Krentos, I think the tallest mountain in the Netherlands is 300 meters. Don't quote me on that, but 300 meters, I mean, that's not a mountain. But yes, oh, where's the button so I can keep going? Yeah, this is the train station, Amsterdam Central. And another thing in the Netherlands is that going around by public transports is very easy. And another thing about visiting Dutch cities, I always feel like the center is very dense and not that sprawling. Usually in Dutch cities, there's one or two where I need to take a tram or something, but in a lot of them, the city center is so centralized and the center is so dense that I just take a train there and then just walk the rest of the day. I only walk in Amsterdam and in Rotterdam as well. When the jokes become dad jokes, when they become a parrot. Nice, nice. There was what was it? There was a toast place that had a lot of buns, a lot of puns, not buns. I'm trying to channel nano puns in my heart. Let's go, let's go. There was a bread place. I'm not remember. I should have taken a picture. Like the napkins all had puns. You went to a bar, they had puns on written in the intro. The Dutch do love their puns. And yeah, these are buns in a toast place. Makes sense exactly. I did a pun by mistake. These buildings were weird. There are a lot of buildings in Amsterdam where the buildings look a little bit not straight. It's like, and I know some towers. There's a tower. Where was it? Was it in Delft? Oh, I do not remember. I know that there's a church tower in one of the cities that I didn't go to this time, where you can clearly see how much the church tower is leaning. I guess that's what you get for building everything on top of swamp terrain. Things sink. The buildings enjoy both ways, exactly. But it is common to see buildings that are leaning a little bit. Some quite a bit. And yeah, just the architecture, that's the thing you don't get when watching like a lot of pictures and everything. The feeling of getting immersed by a different architecture, just the buildings being different. And I think Dutch buildings, the standard Dutch building, even houses in small streets and everything, are very beautiful. I'm a huge fan of this style of architecture. They tend to be very narrow and tall. All of these nooks and details, and both old and new buildings, they do know how to design good buildings there. And of course, you're in Amsterdam, there's canals everywhere, water features everywhere. This is near, what's it called, 9 streets, I think? And this is the first region I had to in Amsterdam. It's my favorite place there to just walk around, because they're just basically a bunch of streets with canals that look stunning. They are very beautiful streets. They have some important monuments there, but for me, just walking through the streets is enough. And one thing that you can see in this picture, and I found that very peculiar, is the amount of boats that had grass or gardens or everything on top. What an epic stream. Yeah, a lot of streams in in the Netherlands. I'm streaming about the streams that I saw in the Netherlands. This is Streamception. If you enjoyed this joke, remember to leave a like and subscribe. But yeah, I was filtering the pictures before the stream. I have like 100 something pictures, I won't show them all of them, that look exactly like this. This is your standard view in Dutch cities. Of course, Amsterdam, I feel like, has a lot of these canals, but this is the typical Dutch street. Very beautiful, some narrow roads with a lot of bikes, of course, the canals with some boats on the sides. Thanks for the reminder. Yes, leave a like. And you can see there, I can't think of any more sheep puns. Canoe! Canoe! Be careful not to... Okay, I wanted to make something with sink. Do not sink my expectations or something, but... Yeah, you can see the weather was lovely, and the boats with grass on top were peculiar. And that's another thing I feel like. In the Netherlands, you see a lot of art everywhere. Like, not only the museums, you feel like it is a culture. That's how I feel, especially coming from Portugal. It is a culture where art is a part of the everyday life. And one aspect of art is self-expression. And I feel like one thing the Dutch try to self-express is that they include a lot of personality into everything. They have a house, they have just one window, they put a lot of detail into that window, like a showcase of, oh, this tiny thing that they have a boat, they cram as much as they can into that boat, as much. I feel like once they want to show something like, oh, this is my bike, oh, this is my house, I want to show this to the world. Once they want to show something, they really go the extra mile of making every little detail count. I say once they want to show, because the Netherlands also has a lot of culture of, okay, I just want to do my thing, I won't bother other people and do not bother me. And that's fine, so not everyone is there to show off, quote unquote. But once they want to show something off, they want to craft the best looking ship, the best looking house. I think they do it spectacularly. What are you thinking about, Nando? I'm thinking about puns, but my brain today is not powerful enough for the puns. It is powerful enough for the trip tales. My pun power is limited today, I feel like. Maybe the inspiration will strike further on, but for now, I was thinking of a pun, but no. Focus. Breathe in, breathe out. But yeah, you see a lot of detail and everything, so this is another nice looking picture of the same place. And I mean, I was talking about decorating things and making things look nice. Look at this bike. Look at and the thing is, this happens a lot in the Netherlands. I feel like you're walking through another country and you need to go to X place to see X thing. You know, in the Netherlands, you're just walking around and then suddenly it's like, what's that? What's this? It feels like, you know how you started up a new MMO and you have side quests everywhere? The Netherlands feels like it's a country where you can easily get lost in side quests. I just kept getting prompts over, dun, 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 new quest unlocked, go see flower bike. The bike is blooming, exactly. Is that even writable? I assume so. But I mean, look at that. I talk about customizing things and making them part of your expression. If that's not a unique bike, I don't know what a unique bike is. And this is all the pictures I've shared so far. This is one canal. This is me walking like 5 minutes. You're just watching. This was me getting flabbergasted, like, I miss this. And yeah, one more picture and you can see the bike there with the boat. Yeah, bike, grass boat, canal, domed building in the back. I mean, there's so much going on in just this one picture. Oh, this is just a traditional street. Lots of bike parkings everywhere. The buildings, this is just street. Nice picture. Oh, this was, I don't know why, I saw this boat and I was like, this boat is full of water. This is the most, I mean, probably it works, but amidst all of the boats, I was like, this is probably one of the most uncomfortable looking boats I've ever seen. I don't want to go into this boat. Yeah, bikes and boats. That's Amsterdam. And that's Netherlands in general. Migia boats were expected. Yeah, and look, more canals, more boats, more houses that are leaning, but they do look nice. Things are very picturesque here. Yes, the boat is friendly because it's called Friendship. Was it called Friendship? Maybe. I mean, there are peculiar boat names everywhere. But you can see the type of streets that you see there in the Netherlands. The weather was starting to open up, you have the canals everywhere. What you see here is basically what you see most of the time there. More boats, more bikes, more buildings. Can you fish on this river? I don't think so. I think the water is probably not clean enough. I don't think it's that dirty. I remember once they had to fish a load of bicycles out of the canals. I don't know why. Like, usually people ride a lot of cheap bikes, and once the bike got old, maybe it's tradition. I remember reading about this, I don't remember the details of the story. People just tossed bikes into the canals, and of course metals getting old and rusty do release toxins, and to clean the waters they had to dig out thousands of bikes from the canals. Like thousands and thousands of bicycles that were at the bottom of those canals. But I don't think these canals are good enough to have fish, and probably if they do have, it's not good enough to eat. I do know there's lagostins, I think they're called crayfish. They're kind of like the tiny lobsters, and I think they are becoming a pest in the Netherlands. They aren't natural to the Netherlands. I think they arrived from America and they are becoming a pest, but they're an edible pest, so I think now people are starting to catch crayfish and eating them to try and reduce as a measure of pest control. So there is not like fish with a fishing rod, but there is edible sea creatures, and I think they are increasing a lot. I love eating oh, is it called crawfish? Crawfish or crayfish? Crawfish? Let me confirm the name. Oh, crayfish. Okay. Probably both are the same. Ah, okay, two names for the same thing. Okay. But yes, and hello, Vexel Cafe, welcome. Free food as pest control, nice. Yeah, I think they are increasing exponentially in the Netherlands. Because they are not natural to there, and often invasive species do not have natural predators, and if a species does not have a predator, it just increases, so now they're trying to make humans. Yeah, they're like miniature lobsters, exactly. The mini lobsters. There's something that's really common in the Amsterdam bridges, is these flower arrangements, and if you have a lot of friends who travel to the Netherlands, I have, it is very common. This is the standard Netherlands profile picture. Like, oh, I'm a traveling influencer and I've just been to the Netherlands. You have a friend taking a picture of you next to these flowers, and it's like canal, flowers, bridge, and nice buildings. This is the standard. If you want a strategy guide how to get an influencer looking profile picture, this is what you get. The crawfish save their money on riverbanks. Oh my god. It's just one after the other. I need to hydrate after that one. Yeah, oh, by the way, canals are common, boats are common, bicycles are common, flowers are very common in the Netherlands, and also birds. One thing that's very different between the Netherlands and Portugal is that in Portugal we have a lot of beautiful wildlife outside of the cities. Our cities are cities only, are very urban. We have no big parks. Like, you walk around, if you see the outskirts of our city, they are really green and natural, but then our cities themselves have very little amount of parks, and when they are very small parks and not a lot of nature. In the Netherlands, I feel like there's so many birds because of the parks and everything in the city. Birds and then flowers. People take flower culture very serious in the Netherlands. Be it trying to get the best looking rose, the best looking tulips and everything. Flowers are very common in the Netherlands, everywhere. Be it in a city, be it in a park, be it in a garden, there's a lot of flowers. Oh, I also like the Vespa bike. I think I saw a lot of them in my journey in general, and I feel like they give such a good aesthetic to cities. I really like the Vespa bikes, the classic ones. Yeah, more of the standard pictures, more canals, more boats, more... I think you can get This isn't always the same picture, by the way. Oh, I really like this sign. We got the boat and the booze, bring your crew and let's cruise. That's a thing in the Netherlands. A lot of restaurants and everything, I did talk about the puns. They try to squeeze a lot of personality into everything. It's like, okay, this is the cafe of this style, and this is like the get drunk cafe. This is the Neko cafe. They did have cat cafes. They try to squeeze a lot of personality into small businesses, into everything. It's like a haiku, yes. We got the boat and the booze, bring your crew and let's cruise. And of course, maybe there are some puns in Dutch. I speak nothing of Dutch. I mean, a little bit. I know lekker. Lekker is the most important Dutch word. But, and I know the names of food like kastengel, kruidnoten, stroopwafel. I know food, and I know, but that's about it. Yeah, more canals. This is just walking through the 7 Cities. I really like these windows. I don't know why, that they have some kind of doors. You just looked around. You focus, like, it's like your eyes. You aren't always focusing on everything that you're looking at. It's like you get overwhelmed. But once your eyes locked into something, there was always something interesting. It's like, oh, this building. Suddenly the building had doors for windows or something. Oh, and this... Okay, let me go first back to this one. Here, I don't have the picture of it, but I was taking a picture and there was a guy driving a boat and he was like, yo, giving me thumbs ups. But I don't want to put a picture of someone on the internet like that. But the guy was really cool. This is on the 9th Street, and this is a very famous house. I don't have the front of the house because there's a lot of people there, and as I said, I didn't want to show a lot of people. For those of you who've heard of the Diary of Anne Frank, this is Anne Frank's house. I've passed this place many times. I've never visited the inside. It's always been crowded with tourists. But this is the house of Anne Frank, and of course, most people do know the story of the book, so it's something that whenever I'm in a place like this, feels heavy. It feels very... I'm someone who feels the weight of history that places have, and when I'm in a place that's tied to that period of history and things like that, I do feel a lot of weight of history, and I do need to take a moment to stop and take a breather. It's like these are the moments that really cement into you that history is real. Because we all know that history is real, but sometimes it feels like it's distant from us, and when you reach these places it's like, no, this is close, this is real, and this was not that long ago. And I think that's an important reminder. Oh, quite a lot of windows. Oh, that's very common in Amsterdam as well. A lot of windows. 5 emotes I describe the Netherlands. Through boat, water, flower, fish, windows. That is a good... an accurate description. This was a big church. Nice picture of a big church. I really liked how it looked because it looks like the skyboxes in Dark Souls. I'm such a nerd. I'm visiting another country and I'm like, ooh, the sky looks like Dark Souls. What a cute Netherlands feature. They have Dark Souls sky over here. Nice country. This is on the... Oh, sorry. Machine is making noise. Let me just take care of this. It's my diabetes machine that is asking of me to do things. Okay, but yeah, this is the inside of that church. A really nice looking organ. By the way, it was just opened, and when I visit religious places, I read the mood. Like if there's people praying on everything, this was just very touristy. And once again, we see the profile picture, style of Netherlands, and this is that church from the outside. I really like how this picture turned out. Even though it has the electricity wires, I feel like it adds to this. I don't know why. I really like how this picture turned out. I'm really happy with it. Ah yes, the Netherlands, kinda one thing that is always the same and booming with uniqueness. I did have a lot of sunlight, which is not normal. What you're watching right now is the average Dutch and Dutch sky, and probably also British sky. Seems like the wires are coming out of the bell tower. True. I really like this picture. Oh, this is the... There were a lot of houses. If you look in the middle of the picture, there's a reddish kind of house that is just covered with vines. And as I said, you see a bunch of houses. In the middle, there's always one unique one. You can't go through a street without finding something unique. Here it was the house covered in vines and leaves. You always find something like that. I love these small streets. Oh, this is... I mean... I'm traveling. When I was in Canada, I saw Pastel de Nata house. I see Portugal reference, I take picture. This is the Casa Brasil Portugal, the House of Brazil and Portugal. I don't know what it sells. I didn't go close, but I did see the Portugal and Brazil reference, and I was like, must take picture. And this reminds me, how did I get here? How did I get to this place? It was lunchtime, and I was like, I want some frites, and probably some croquettes and some croquets, some Dutch street food or restaurant food. And I found a place that had good reviews on Google Maps, and I walked there. It was quite away from the center a little bit. I mean, not very far, but I was very hungry. We walked some 20 minutes and we arrived there and it was closed. And it was not misinformation on my behalf, because other people were arriving and saying, closed. So something was unexpected and things were closed. So we went to, I say we because I was traveling with a friend, we went to a second place to have fries as well. And we see a small line. And we're like, okay, we are hungry. We are extremely hungry, but it is a small line. We can take it. Like, we go to the back and then someone says, oh, excuse me, that's not the start of the line. And they point towards a bridge, and like the line was going over the bridge, around the block, and I was like, no, there's no French fries in the world that are worthy of this line. None at all. No. So this is another beautiful building covered by vines. So my lunch was just McDonald's. We gave up. It's my desperation. I was like, okay, I'm starving. I know how this works. It's open. It doesn't have a queue. That was my lunch my first lunch in Amsterdam. I gave up. Another thing I need to point out about Amsterdam. Oh, and I had some, of course, McDonald's is different from country to country, so this is a different burger and a different ice cream. One thing I need to point out about the Netherlands, let's keep this picture in the background. At the train station, I had to use the restroom, the washroom, and I had to pay like 90 cents. Then I go to McDonald's, I need to use the bathroom again, and it was €1 inside McDonald's. They have some street outlets, but they smell so bad. The smell was horrible, and everything that didn't smell horrible, I feel like every single bathroom was paid. Me and my friend were making jokes like, how much do you want to go to the bathroom? I'm currently at 40 cents. If it's 40 cents, I'll go. And then it's like, ooh, I really need to go to the bathroom. I would pay up to €1. And then we see a €1 bathroom and we just go. Even in the park and everything, all bathrooms were paid. Now I measure my wheel of going to the bathroom, how much I need to go by money. Oh, how desperate are you for a bathroom? 50 cents if I see you. That's something that is not common in... I mean, there are some places in Portugal where there are paid bathrooms, but they're not that common. In Amsterdam, it felt like every single bathroom you had to pay. Every single one. I don't think in Amsterdam I found a single free bathroom, if I remember correctly. I think I had to pay. I ran out of coins. At the end I was like, oh, do you have a coin for this? No, I spent all my coins on bathrooms. I ran out of coins. Oh, this was some nice sculptures of lizards. As I said, you are walking around randomly. I don't have a lot of things prepared when I go to something like... If I go to Japan, I prepare everything. I go to the Netherlands, I just get lost. I'm like, ooh, park with lizards. Ooh, this. I just kept seeing random stuff. Oh, and by the way, in this park, of course, I didn't take a picture, but my clone was here. He was wearing a white and red striped shirt, like my Hosho Marin Hosho no Ichimi shirt. And he had the exact same beard as I had, the exact same hair. He looked exactly like me. I probably should have asked for a picture at the time. I felt like I didn't want to... Good thing you never went broke and wanted to go to the toilet. True, that would be the disaster. But I found my clone here. If you're watching this stream, TheNando, hello, leave a like. No, he was sitting here looking at the phone, and it was my friend who is like, look, it's you. And I'm like, oh, is this actually me? What? I was flabbergasted. It was... and that's something that happens to me a lot in the Netherlands. Some people in Portugal talk to me in English. In the airport, someone, like a security guard, I often get searched because of diabetes stuff. A security guard went up to me and like, do you speak Portuguese? Falas português? And I was like, sim, eu sou de Portugal. Yes, I speak Portuguese. And he proceeds to only speak English to me. In Portugal, a lot of people think I'm foreigner. In the Netherlands, everyone thinks I'm a local. People ask me for directions. Sometimes they ask, oh, do you speak English or Netherlands? For me, they never ask. They just start speaking Dutch to me. And I'm like, eh, gomen, Dutch, oranda goga hanasemasen, gomenasai, wakarimasen, bokuan, boku no oranda go wa hetta desu. Well, let's go. Welcome to the lowlands, where the people are tall. True. Hello, hello, Joy. Welcome to the stream. But yes, people there always... People in the Netherlands think I'm a local, and I'm not tall. It's not a tall factor. I don't know if it's the vibes. But yeah, I've been yapping on quite a bit. We are still in Amsterdam. This is my first day. I have 2 days worth of pictures. I've been there for more than 2 days, but not all that I was doing was tourism. So I have 2 days of pictures. One is Amsterdam, one is Rotterdam. This is the first day. This is Amsterdam, and these are lizards. This is more beautiful streets. Oh, is this Artis? Artis is... What is Artis? I do not know. I was lost. I actually... I will talk more about that. I got lost in Amsterdam. That's why I walked so much. The Amsterdam Zoo. Oh, I didn't go to the zoo. These are statues. This is a park. These are just statues. They aren't real animals. I didn't go to the zoo, no. But I've heard about the Amsterdam Zoo. This is me walking towards the Reich Museum? I never know how to say the name of that museum. And the Van Gogh Museum, I didn't visit them because I didn't have time this time around. But the Netherlands have great museums with a lot of art. Yeah, this one. The Reich... Exactly, that. The Reich Museum. I don't know how to say it, but I did walk through the museum, but I didn't visit it this time. I've been to the Netherlands quite a few times. I just walked through. I went more towards the parks. This is the other side of the museum. And now this is where I spent quite a lot of time. This is south of the Reich Museum, a little bit more to the south and west I believe, I mean, depends on the map rotation. I don't know if my map was oriented towards north, but this is a very beautiful park in the Netherlands. It was my first time visiting it, and I have a lot of great pictures here. I had a ton of birds, like so many birds. The background, like the background soundtrack of walking in the park. And sounds like such a nerd. It's not sounds of nature, it's background soundtrack for walking. You kept hearing a lot of birds, and I was walking and I was like, these birds sound exotic. And I will show some pictures later. There were some beautiful green birds. Of course, I don't know my birds. For me, it's green bird, blue bird, happy bird. That's bird names for me. But there were a lot of beautiful birds. I really like the towers. You know, that's props to the composer, exactly. A few statues. These ones. Hello, hello, Zumu! Welcome to the stream. I saw one of these green birds, and I was like, they are the invasive species of parrots that made their home. Oh, they are invasive. At least they look nice. They look really nice. Because I saw one, me and my friend, and we were like, bird, green bird, take picture, let's go, it's so cute. And we saw, and it's like, oh, this is super rare, we spotted the green bird. And then we walked a little bit more, and it's like 20 of them. And we're like, okay, turns out they are common, it's not the rare green bird. There were so many of them in this park. And these two were just like, hey bro, what you doing? Oh, not much. I'm hanging around this log. There were so many of these birds. They sound nice, they look nice. I don't know how harmful they can be towards the natural like fauna and flora. But as a tourist, at least, they were really cool. It was really cool to see all the birds flocking around. A lot of ducks, a lot of different types of ducks. This is... I don't know if this is a duck, but it looked funny, so I took a picture. I'm the worst. When it comes to fauna and flora, I'm the worst person in the world. I'm the worst guide. It's like, ooh, I saw a bird. Looks nice. A lot of ducks everywhere. Ducks are very common. Ducks, goose, you see them a lot in the Netherlands. They originated from an escaped pair, and they legit took over all the city parks in the Netherlands. Yeah, because in Rotterdam, I saw them as well. It is so wild, and I was talking a little bit before about it, how I think there's also the crayfish who are taking over the canals in the Netherlands, like millions of crayfish, if I remember correctly, just from a single pair. I mean, that's why in planes and everything they are so careful about invasive species, especially plants. A lot of people underestimate. I feel like nowadays they don't, but in Portugal we have so much problems with invasive plants. Especially plants that come from Australia, they really take a hit in at our natural wildlife. Oh, this place, there was this gazebo in the middle of a pond. I took so many pictures of this single gazebo. It looks like a painting. The next one looks even better. This is so picturesque. This looks so amazingly nice, and here the sun was starting to show. I just wanted to sit down and take a nap here. It was so pleasant. And by the way, there was a bathroom next to this gazebo, and it costed €1. I remember the price of all the bathrooms. €1 to go to the bathroom next to this gazebo. Yeah, this reminds... That picture I have from Korea really looks like this one. But this was probably one of my favorite areas to just take a picture. It's like a piece of a painting that came to life. It's like whoever designed this really knew what they were doing. Looks so picturesque from every single angle. And you can see the sun starting to shine now, so the pictures get more vibrant colors. This was a really nice looking place. From every single angle it looked nice. This was one of my favorite little corners of the park, and this was a huge park, by the way. I went into this park, it looked small in the map, and I walked so much inside this park alone. Definitely worth it, and a lot of great pictures. that I took, the sun rays coming from amidst the trees. Just a nice walk with the birds singing. Oh, this... I was walking with my friend and we saw this, and I was telling him, oh, this is a Dutch art installation. This symbolizes the modernism amidst the nature. And I was like, I'm going to take a picture to this and talk about this on stream. This is just a random thing that was there, but since I was walking with my friend, I was like, this symbolizes how we walk on 4 wheels and we keep our... It's a parasol stand, exactly. We keep our balance. And if you look at the concrete amidst the steel, it symbolizes how we must be flexible amidst all the rigidity that is the world oppressing us. And this symbolizes the triumph of Netherlands over the waters and the elements of nature. How they built a dam in the river Amster and it became Amsterdam and the city was born. Then they went to Rotter and built the dam of Rotter. Give this man a gallery, exactly. Stream idea. I need to make an entire stream which is me presenting art, which isn't actually art, but I make it art through my description. That's a note for future self. The human interference of nature, exactly. And then yeah, now we're back to the beautiful nature. A lot of, if you like water features, the Netherlands is the place for you. Those trees there on the left side that are basically just a log with some flowers out, some leaves outside. The green birds really like them, and I don't know the name of those trees. They're basically just a log with leaves, but they look really nice. You're joking, but honestly, a big part of modern art is literally just the art of being able to talk BS. Yes, I know that not all modern art is the same, but some of it... Oh, those are willows. Nice. I'm like, tree that is just leaves. Willows. Yeah, they look really nice. This, I think... I read something, but it was in Dutch. I think they are for the conservation of bees, if I remember correctly. I did see a lot of bees in the... I mean, there's a lot of flowers, so... flowers and bees go hand by hand, but they didn't feel annoying. Sometimes I'm like, bees everywhere, not the bees. Kind of like the movie, not the bee. But no, it felt like I was doing my things, the bees were doing their things, and we just got along nicely. Yeah, just kept walking. I really like, you see this a lot in Korea. People underestimate how important it is to have obstacles in the water. The sound of water splashing, like in a park, wherever it is, it's so much more nice than just having still water. Even if you have a river, adding some obstacles, naturally or natural looking, like sound design in a video game level or in a real world level is very important, and I feel like just having rocks for the water to splash on makes such a difference. I was walking and I was like, okay, this place suddenly feels nicer than all other places. Why do I feel so good here? And since writing is one of my favorite hobbies, I like to deconstruct things like, why am I so at peace here? And I looked around and I was like, aha! Those are the culprits. Those rocks in the middle of the water, they make splashy sounds, and splashy sounds makes brain go happy. It's also good for fish, for oxygenation. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Here I am saying, oh, splashy, splashy, happy, happy, and you're like, oh, oxygenation. Dr. Zumo. No, I'm just joking, I'm just joking. I'm actually the doctor here. Okay, this was the rose garden, and the roses looked beautiful. As I said, I feel like flower treatment and flower display and everything is an art form in the Netherlands. I know they are popular for the tulips, but you see so many huge parks with amazing like flower gardens, different colors sorted. I feel like there's a really rich flower culture in the Netherlands, and this was a rose garden. And the roses there, I have some pictures that I took very zoomed in. Like, look at these roses. with freckles on them. They looked so nice. There were a lot of roses here, courtesy of the rich merchants through the bourgeoisie of the 18th, 17th, 19th century, true, that stands to till nowadays. The freckly roses, they looked so nice. They looked amazingly beautiful. And there were others. Like, look at how vibrant this yellow is. I was searching for blue roses, and for those of you who do not know that, blue roses are very important in Japanese culture. They didn't have them here, by the way, because for a lot of time, they believed it was impossible to create blue roses. People thought it was... They tried to crossbreed them and have natural blue roses, and they couldn't have it. Until one day, I don't remember the story, but they did manage to get blue roses, and blue roses are a thing. And everyone believed it to be impossible. So in Japan, the tale of the blue rose is a tale of achieving the impossible. It's like the blue rose was impossible, but people didn't stop trying. And now they have it. And for example, you see Ado, the singer, her symbol is a blue rose, and that's what the blue rose symbolizes in Japanese culture. Blue rose means you try to achieve the impossible, but you keep doing it because in the past, what was impossible, now we see as common and possible. Everything is impossible until someone achieves them. So the blue rose is a symbol of triumph over the odds. Also, many flowers go through the flower auction of the Netherlands. Oh, I've seen, like, the huge pavilions, and they have their own, like, mechanics of how things work, and, like, millions of flowers, and it's an insanely large building. Things are very fast, like, okay, any bid for this one, and you get the... I've seen some videos. I think it used to be more accessible to tourists, and now it's more locked only for people who are doing business, because this important business, but maybe I'm wrong. But I remember seeing videos about the Netherlands flower auctions, and they were like in a scale that is hard to comprehend. These just look like only on certain days it's open to the public. Ah, okay. This just looks like a textbook rose. If I look at the definition of what a rose is, the shade of violet was so vibrant. Let me just take care of that over on Twitch. Yeah, the roses. This one like really white, and oh, this looks like almost silk. The feathers. Such a beautiful picture. Yeah, I love taking pictures. That's why I also like making these streams, because even when I was taking the pictures themselves, I like to have them for me. I have, like, for all of my trips and everything, I must have around 16,000 pictures. I don't take 16,000 pictures on a single trip, but I travel a lot and I store them all. And these ones I knew, ooh, I love taking these pictures, and I am going to share them on stream, which makes it even more special. That's how I'm tackling streaming right now, by the way, as a person. I'm using streaming as a boost towards things that I already enjoy as a principle. Like, this is something I enjoy doing, and now I add streaming on top, and it becomes even better. And yeah, these ones that look like... It reminds me of a 16th century nobleman's dress. Good tactic. Yeah. And I mean... okay, I don't... There are some days that I go very deep into streaming talk. Today is not one of these days, but I'm just going to go a little bit. Yeah, and I've accepted a lot of... I think I was getting a bit frustrated of focusing too much on streaming as, quote-unquote, on a career. And now I'm like, okay, streaming is a hobby. If it becomes a career, I will be happy. But this is a hobby, and I'm going to tackle it as one. And ever since I changed into that mindset, I'm a lot happier. Of course, that's not a mindset that works for everyone. A lot of people are working hard, and they have to work hard, and massive respect. But for me, tackling this as a hobby that I'm passionate about works a lot better. But sorry, about the streamer talk. Fun fact, digital cameras often struggle capturing flowers because of the extreme color vibrance. Yeah, my phone, this is the first decent phone that I have. I always used to buy like the cheapest one. This is the first good phone I have, and I'm glad I have a good phone. It's not like a crazy good phone, but I mean, you can see from the pictures that it's also not a horrible one. How the father flower called his son, "Hey bud." I'm glad you do those jokes, Photon aka Van, because whenever you do one of those jokes, I remember to hydrate. You're my hydration routine. You're my reminder to hydrate today. Okay, why do I have a print screen of Google Maps here? Because I need to share a story. I walked a lot in the Netherlands, like a lot. And I was there in that region that says the Vondeltwin, the Vondeltwin? I don't know how to pronounce it, but I was there in the south side of the park. I mean, that's not in the bottom side of the park. And I was like, okay, I need to go to the train station, I need to go away. Let's start heading towards the top side of the map. That's simple. And this was before seeing the roses. I was there in the bottom, and I was like, let's check and let's go towards the roses, and I was going this side top. And I walked quite a few miles, I saw the roses and everything, and then I reached the end of the park. And I was like, ooh, I'm at the top exit, I'm close to the train station. Somehow, I was back at the Vondeltwin. I don't know how. I did a 180 turn, and I don't know how. Yeah, it's that particular day. I was at the Vondeltwin, I walked north, I crossed the Rosarium, I continued heading north, and then suddenly I was in the Vondeltwin again. I don't know how I did it. I do not know what happened. Because I wasn't opening the GPS, I opened the GPS again, and when I was back at the south side of the park, and this is a big park, I walked quite and I was like, no, why? I mean, this is nice, but I don't want to walk twice the distance. And now I know that I was actually kind of close to Amsterdam South, the other station, but in my mind, I was just thinking about Amsterdam Central, and this is like 5 kilometers at the end of a full walking day. And some kilometers got added because of me getting lost. I have no idea. And I was with a friend. We were like, how did this happen? We just walked ahead. And then maybe it was the roses. Maybe I have no idea how I got lost. But I did get lost. And I ended up walking over 25,000 steps. You did go to the Vondelpark. Yes. Yeah, this is the name of the park. The Vondelpark. Yes, exactly. All the pictures you were seeing, if you want to know the place, it was the Vondelpark. And you see the Reich Museum and the Van Gogh Museum there on the top right. But yeah, I don't know why I walked through this park like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, a lot of tourists are getting lost there now, yeah. And it was nice because I visited the Amsterdam more than once. That's why I didn't have a lot of hurries. But it was my first time visiting Vondelpark, and I was very positively surprised by it. I think this is the palace. Basically, I was rushing towards the station. It was getting kind of late. It's strange because in Portugal, dinner time is like 9 p.m, 10 p.m. In the Netherlands, I think dinner time is like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So even though it was like 6 p.m. at this time, I felt like it was super late. Palais op de Dam. I should not try to pronounce it. But yeah, I saw this palace, I was just rushing back to the train station, and then I had a good dinner, and I had some bitterballen. I really like bitterballen. The absolute culture shock of dinner time. Exactly! It's like, because I have family in the Netherlands, and because of time zone it's 1 hour, but then there's the culture of dinner time. It's 4 p.m. here. I mean, people have had lunch in the Netherlands already. I have lunch 4 hours from now. Dinner, sorry. And people in the Netherlands, a lot of them have already had dinner. It's such a culture shock. But these are bitterballen. These are one of my favorite snacks. These are like, you can buy them at cafes and everything. They are better, more handmade. These are just ones you buy and put in the oven. They are bitter, they are bollen, they are bitterballen, and you just dip them in a bit of mustard, and usually they are great to accompany a beer. It was like, okay, I walked a lot today, I just want some bitterballen and some nice beer, and that's how I ended the day. What are they made of? I think it's a blend of meat. They can be compared to what we call a croquet. Yeah, dinner is around 6, starts at 4:30 in restaurants and goes until 10. Damn. Yeah, it's very... Yeah, beef meat. They can be compared to what we Portuguese call a croquette. They also have croquettes in the Netherlands, but their croquettes are more different. This is more similar to our croquettes than what they call a croquette. But they're more bitter. I mean, they're bitter, and also a little... Compared to our croquettes, I'm talking about the Portuguese croquettes because Zumo is Portuguese. They're also less dense. Our croquettes are more dense. These feel more liquidy a little bit, but they are very good. With some mustard and a beer, it's a very nice snack. Of course, they are fried. They have the dough on the outside. They're a blend of beef meat with spices. They are very good. I even have... Look! You can see all of the angles of the bitterballen. I should have taken like a 360 video. But the texture, you can imagine that the crunch of biting that crust. Okay, and this is second day. This is Rotterdam. I know Rotterdam very well. Next 3D modeling stream. Croquette. Bitterballen model. This is Rotterdam, and this building right here was inspired by an IKEA salad bowl. I'm not making a joke, I'm not saying like, aha, Dutch architecture is like... No, literally, the architects, this is an award-winning building. Oh, important question, both poffertjes and stroopwafels, this time I didn't eat them, sadly. I ate them the last time I was in the Netherlands. This time I didn't eat neither stroopwafels nor poffertjes, but poffertjes are really good. I have had them before. They're like the tiny pancakes with good texture. I feel like they're a little bit more sweet. And you can get, of course, you can dip them in maple syrup or stroop, like the stroop they use on stroopwafels or things like that. Or some powdered sugar. They are really good. But sadly I didn't have them this time. For example, I didn't see some things that I wanted to see this time. I just say, okay, I didn't have poffertjes this time. That just means that I need to get back sooner to do the things I didn't do. Yeah, new city, this is Rotterdam. We had Amsterdam, second day was Rotterdam, and this is salad bowl. And one of the purposes of the salad bowl is this picture that you can take right here. Of course, I censored the people, so they look like the the picture is a little bit dirty. One of the goals of the salad bowl building is that you can take a picture, you see your own reflection there, and you have the skyline of Rotterdam behind you. That's one of the points of this building, of how it was designed. You can take a quote-unquote selfie in that huge dome bowl, and then you have the Rotterdam skyline. And, okay, we're talking about Amsterdam. Amsterdam is very historical, nice-looking canals everywhere. Rotterdam, you need to think about the history of the city. It was a city that was like almost completely destroyed in the World War. So they had to rebuild a lot, and they made it a lot more modern. And for us European, I feel like Rotterdam, skyline and everything, it looks very like you see the movies from Hollywood, and there's even a Jackie Chan movie where they're in Rotterdam. it feels more modern. It feels like almost the American skyrise cities with a beautiful skyline and everything. I feel like it doesn't feel like a lot of Europe cities are a mesh between things that were layered on top, so they don't have a lot of planning. We have, for example, Lisbon in Portugal, who was completely destroyed, so they have a lot of replanning done because of the earthquake. Yeah, and Rotterdam is the same. Since the city was completely destroyed, it feels very modern. It is a lovely city, but that's why you see so many modern buildings and everything. Because, and even in Rotterdam, I think there's marks in the floor, like lights, that show the main places where bombs were dropped in World War II. And in a night, if you go, for example, on top of Euromast or something, you can see the marks of where bombs landed. So it is a city that was heavily marked by the World War, and it was completely redesigned. And it is... I'm going to go to the center soon. You see, this building is very architect building, like very beautiful. Rotterdam City, for me, I view it as a canvas. As a lot of things are a canvas for artists, this garden is a canvas for gardeners, Rotterdam City is kind of a canvas for architects. You see so many crazy modern architecture. Yeah, exactly, and after that they lean into the modernism and a lot of architects got to do fun designs. Exactly. Since this is not my first time in Rotterdam, I can say this very confidently. Some don't look that good, others look amazing. It's like, you look around you and it's like, not a single building is normal. Why is that? Why are those windows upside down? Why does that building look like a pencil? Why does that building look like... It's like... We're going to see more pictures, but Rotterdam is a very unique city in that regard. Oh, this is a park next to the Euromast. This time in Rotterdam I did went to the top of the Euromast, which is that tower there. It's not the tallest building in Rotterdam, but it gives you a good view of the entire city. Very tall view of the city. It's a good way to know, and it's not that far from the center. I mean, it's still the center, but not the centermost part of the center. And yeah, this is just the way there. More parks, more nature. Birds were singing as always. And yeah, this is the view from the top. For those of you who don't know also, Rotterdam is the biggest port in all of Europe. It is also an industry powerhouse. A lot of ships that come from the America, they bring their cargoes to Rotterdam. And even historically speaking, there was the SS Rotterdam. We'll see it later. It was like a cruise ship, like something like the Titanic, a luxury cruise ship that traveled between Rotterdam and New York. And you had like the customs where people arrived from New York, where people from Rotterdam were leaving towards New York. So yeah, all the water. You cannot capture the scale of Rotterdam canals and the docks from pictures alone. It's like, when you're in Tokyo, you look everywhere and the city feels infinite. When you're in Rotterdam, it feels like the dock is infinite, the harbor. Canals everywhere, every single nook and cranny has ship's dock. There you see the park at the bottom, and you see the first glimpse of Erasmusbrug. It's that asymmetrical cable stray bridge that is across the main river there, and this area is more of a center view of Rotterdam. And you can see, for example, see that building on the right? We'll see it closer later on. It's like blocks that are misaligned. They really like to misalign things to give each building a quirk and its own personality. Yeah, you see the park and everything, and the canals. Oh, I just took this picture. That on the right, I think it's the hospital. The ship is called the Mayflower, if I remember it correct. Oh! Let me confirm. I believe you more than I believe me. Oh, that's showing another ship. The one I'm... Okay, maybe I'm talking about a more recent one. That's a museum. I'll show pictures later. And we will be... Okay, but why did I take this picture? Because as I said, this looks very modern and everything. And I was looking at this view. And I was like, man, this makes me want to play City Skylines. This really looks like a print screen from a city building game where you're building like your traffic networks, your roundabouts. This really looks like Rotterdam looks like a city planner. No. Do derail me, Joy. I thank people. I thrive in getting derailed. Sometimes I can get railed on for minutes and minutes and hours. So do not worry about that. Never apologize for that. You can apologize for other things, but not for derailing me. But yeah, hospital there on the right, park and the roundabout, and I was like, ooh, roundabout. Sometimes I do say I have the soul of an artist and I like writing and everything. Sometimes you can see that I'm an engineer as well. And I'm like, ooh, nice roundabout and cars go around. Yeah, you can see that I am also an engineer. But yeah, you can. This is like I'm giving you the 360 view, one picture at a time. You can see, for example, that building on the right there. Why is it colored like that? Why are the windows like that? And this is not the weirdest of buildings. We're going through a build-up. This is a journey. We are still at the most normal parts of Rotterdam. I have a few city suggestions if you'd like. Oh, nice. I've been to quite a few cities. I've been to Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Gouda, Den Haag. What else? Delft. I've been to the... What's the name of that? The Kinderdijk. I've been to the Kinderdijk. I've been to Leiden. I'm looking at the map right now on the side. But I haven't visited Utrecht yet. Is that a building or a ship in bottom left? The answer is yes. That's the answer. Oh, I've been to Breda as well. I think that's... Oh, I don't know why Gouda. It's not that big to visit. But I really like to go to Gouda. And I always buy some Gouda cheese there. I really like the cheese. And there's the plaza where they display all the cheeses and everything. It's not a big place, Gouda, but it is a nice visit for an afternoon. Oh, good choices. Yeah, the cheese market, exactly. I have on my fridge. I don't buy a lot of magnets, but sometimes I do want to remember the trips. I have a magnet of the Gouda cheese market. And hello, Dizzy, much pretty, yes. You should do a blindfolded spin up there with your arms pointing outwards and stop randomly and decide where you'll visit next. That's the kind of thing that I do, to be honest. Oh, the building and the ship. That's, like, even in Amsterdam, some of the buildings are like houses that are permanently piered there or something. I think that's a ship that's also a restaurant and a hotel, if I remember correctly. I think it's an Asian restaurant and hotel. And that's something that's just common here. Cheese magnet seems very fitting for a fridge. True. I do have 4 Hololive fridge magnets, by the way, official, from Hakos Bale's anniversary. The houseboats, exactly. And you see here the other weird building more centered. But, by the way, all of these pictures, you can see the thing that I highlighted beforehand. Not a single mountain. Not a single hill. Nothing. Like, for my Portuguese brain, even our coastlines are so mountainous. It's so strange to not see to see the horizon just fading into nothingness instead of a mountain spawning there. Usually I only not see mountains if it's like insane fog. Yeah, a restaurant house, a hotel boat. It's funny because whenever we wonder, oh, what's that building? It was almost always a hotel or a restaurant. On clear weather, you can see Den Haag. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Den Haag is like, it's not the capital of the Netherlands, but it could technically be because some of the government buildings are there, right? That's Den Haag. I think maybe the parliament or something. I do not know all of my Dutch details. Yes, nice, nice, nice. But I think I remember that because the capital is indeed Amsterdam. That some people, like when they're trying to outsmart you, they say, "Oh, the capital is actually Den Haag." It's like no. I think it is actually Amsterdam, but I do understand that some people could consider it. The map hasn't fully loaded yet. Yeah, I set my render distance to 16 chunks here, so the map didn't load. I was having some lag when taking the pictures. And yeah, there you can. It was funny. You can see that kind of gateway between the two canals, and I wondered. I don't think that's an elevator. I told my friend it was an elevator, but I don't think so. I think it's just to stop, maybe to separate waters. Oh, the oldest government building in the world. I didn't know about that, or at least in Europe. That's really nice. 590. Yeah, to turn on the ray tracing and all the rendering. Okay, this part of the canal, because I know that some canals have quote-unquote cheap elevators, where it's like one pond is a little bit higher than the other, and they have a section in the middle where the gates close, and they flood in water from one side or the other to level the waters slowly. But this didn't feel like it. I was watching it operate, we saw a boat go through it, and I think the water on both sides is the same, so probably this is just a like separating water kind of thing. Maybe one of the waters is more controlled than the others, but I have no idea. But it was fun seeing these gates open. It was a small bridge, small ship, so the drawbridge didn't have to go up. Vienna has those elevators, quite neat, exactly. And yeah, there's a lot of... You see the buildings and the city, all wide canals, all docks, all buildings intertwined with the city layout. And I'm not showing the main dock area. Erasmus Bridge once again. Here you can see the wider... I mean, this is not a canal, this is a river. Not a wider canal, this is an actual river now. Okay. Because I'm a silly, goofy guy, I saw this, and there's a lot of signs about gangs in the Netherlands. Have the in gang, the out gang, they keep talking about gangs everywhere. And I was like, I didn't know that there was a gang related to toes. Are they obsessed with feet over there? They have the toe gang? What is that? Why do they... And it's like, they are saying, it's forbidden to show your hands. No hands here, only toes. We just want feet. No hand, only toe, exactly. I know that this probably means like in gang and out gang or something. It's like way in and way out, and this is probably like you cannot, and it's not pronounced toe gang, by the way. I had someone pronounce this correctly and it was not toe gang. But when I saw this, oh, only for personnel, okay, okay. My goofy brain could not stop, and I was like, I need to take a picture, I need to make this joke on stream. Sorry. Sorry, Dutch people. But the toe gang. I cannot see the sign ever again. Okay, this is cool. This is a bus that you can see in the middle of the river, and the bus can run on land and water. I'm like, what? I mean, that's the description they told me. It's like the bus, you take the bus on the water, on the land, and then the bus just goes into water. I mean, in Portugal, we have buses that go on water, but that's because our tunnels flood when it rains, and then the buses get stuck. Yeah, exactly. Our buses get stuck in tunnels. Literal translation, prohibit for unauthorized personnel. Okay, thank you. So the tow gang is prohibited for unauthorized personnel. I mean, the whole thing. But yeah, you see that is a boat that walks on water and land. And I'm like, aren't those supposed to be sci-fi? What? Why am I seeing this with my own two eyes? Isn't this supposed to be sci-fi? And there's also water taxis, and they are really fast. You don't want to go through the traffic, just buy a water taxi ticket and go to work by water taxi. And yeah, this is walking alongside the river. The catamaran. Yes. I am... Yeah, yes. Like it is... Oh, and Axelski, welcome. Thank you for the resub for 7 months. What a mad lad. Thank you so much. I was talking... No, I know you're a Amsterdam fanboy. I'm now talking about Rotterdam, not Amsterdam. I feel very weird because I know some Dutch people, and I feel like when I'm talking about Dutch things, I always do half English pronunciation, half Dutch pronunciation, so it just sounds weird. Sometimes I say Rotterdam, other times I say Rotterdam, other times I say Roterdão, which is Portuguese. Here for the Nando homie! I know like everywhere is accessible with a 30-minute train. Yeah, public transportation in the Netherlands is so good. Like, you only need a car in very specific situations. Like if you work on this, or like if you have a kid and you need to... I feel like of all the countries I've visited, Japan and the Netherlands were the top 2 for public transportation. Of all, I've visited 16 countries, Netherlands and Japan, and they are different. I can't say that Japan has better transports than the Netherlands, or Netherlands is better than... They have different pros and cons. As a Dutchie, I am still very happy and impressed you tried. Thank you. Walkable cities, what about walkable country? Exactly! Like, it's so easy to walk in the Netherlands. It's absurd. Water traffic offenders get ticketed by the water police. Yeah, they have, and then the water banners show up. They start water banning the water on your boat. Okay, this was just a picture of a boat. I was like, ooh, I like boats. Yeah, Portugal, by the way, it's funny because I think Portugal and the Netherlands are on kind of opposite sides of the spectrum. Portugal is probably one of the most car-centric countries in Europe. I don't think it is the #1, but very up there. We are extremely car-centric, sadly. And yeah, you see there the Erasmus Bridge, and you can see some of the weird buildings of Rotterdam. I mean, look at... Why don't they... usually skyscrapers are like rectangles, or ellipses, or circles. Why are they like a rectangle that then mixes and then... It feels like when I have a glitch in my 3D modeling software, or I want to shift things around just because I can. That's how I feel like look at these buildings. There is a famous building, I didn't take a picture this time, where there's a scene where Jackie Chan goes down a building, like running, and it was one of his most famous stunts, like a glass building ramp. That is in Rotterdam as well. I don't remember the name of the movie, but Rotterdam has a lot of stuff. I'm stuck in America, and of course, true. I complain about Portugal, at least we are not... and hello, Zerzon. At least we're not in like America when it comes to city design. Yeah, a lot of bike lanes in the Netherlands, and I feel like it's so easy and safe. I've biked in the Netherlands, and it feels like a different transportation than biking in Portugal. Biking in Portugal, I do not feel safe anywhere. I feel like anytime I can get hit by a car, I need to cross so many roads, In the Netherlands, it's like, oh, there's a road there. Oh, but there's a bike tunnel under the road, and then there's a wide lane, and yeah. Axel's. Dude, the closest I have where I live... Dude, the closest I have where I live has one bus every 2 hours that drives by and no trains nearby. So I can't even go quickly to another city. Portugal sure is something. Oh, true, America don't even have, like, crosswalks. True, I've lived in a place in Portugal where if I wanted to reach an ATM machine, which is something like you can put an ATM machine everywhere. If I wanted to reach an ATM machine by public transports, it would take me 8 hours. By car, like 10 minutes. By walking, like half an hour. If I used public transportation, if I'm an elderly or something, it would take 8 hours. It's so bad, our public transportation system. You can legit go from the one side of the country to the other side completely by bike, yeah. And also with public transport, yeah, it's really... Of course, sometimes you do have those warnings, like you're in a train in the Netherlands and then suddenly... Beste reizigers, which is like how they treat like their travelers. There is a cow in the middle of the train tracks. We'll now have to wait 1.5 hours. Sorry for the inconvenience. I do know that trains in the Netherlands can happen. By the way, the Netherlands has a lot of cows because they are the 3rd biggest meat exporter in the world, if I believe. They have a lot, like, they're a very polluting country, the Netherlands. You often think, oh, a country is polluting because they have a lot of coal processing, or no, the Netherlands are polluting because they have a lot of cows. They have a lot of farm animals, and sometimes they go in front of the trains, and also a lot of farmland. The Netherlands, you look at the Netherlands by plane and you're like, how many farms do you guys need? And I know that the farmers are very powerful in the Netherlands. Biking in Portugal is living in fear, and anyone in the car automatically... If you bike in Portugal, not just anyone in the car, you're automatically hated. Okay. Dude, I have an electrical scooter and stopped using it because legally you need to drive a motorized vehicle on the road, but I keep getting honked at like I was the problem. Yeah, no, there's no respect for any form of transportation at all here. In the Netherlands, if you're a tourist, you need to be careful, especially in Amsterdam, not to get hit by a bike. A lot of people underestimate biking lanes, and people in Amsterdam are often in a hurry. I feel like in Rotterdam, for example, even if you do not respect, life is chiller. Amsterdam is like PvP server with hard difficulty turned on. Yeah, you can see there the Erasmus Bridge. By the way, Erasmus Bridge is because Erasmus, a lot of European people will know the name of Erasmus because of the Erasmus program, where you go from different universities, but Erasmus was a very important person who lived in Rotterdam. That's why you have the Erasmus Bridge, you have the Erasmus University and everything. Very important person. And you can see the wonky buildings there. This was a statue. I thought the pose was nice. I don't know who the statue was, but I like how he looks very fabulous. Yeah, and this is one of the piers with the boats, and I do love boats. Okay, this is my best picture of the Erasmus Bridge, and you can see it's asymmetrical. Oh, that's another thing. In Portugal, we have some lovely bridges. We have some bridges that are considered some of the most beautiful in the world. Designed, some of them by Eiffel, who designed the Eiffel Tower and everything. But I don't think we have a bridge culture. In the Netherlands, I feel like I've talked about flower culture, I've talked about art culture and everything, bird culture. I feel like they have a lot of bridge culture. They have a lot of bridges, all very unique and all very beautiful. Of course, not everyone appreciates bridges, but it's like if you have to build them, why not build them nice? And this is one of the most famous ones. Now a fun story for you, a fun Dutch story. If you are from Europe, you probably have Eurobills. And, oh, the water gates. I know that you talked about it, I forgot to mention in chat. The huge Rotterdam water gates are insane to help control the city from flooding and everything. Like, Rotterdam is I mean, all the Netherlands are an engineering marvel. But okay, bridges. If you have a $5 bill in front of you, a $10, not dollar, euro, €5, €10, €20, you've probably noticed that they have bridges. And you've probably wondered, are those bridges from like different places of Europe? Maybe they took the biggest countries, like the founders, like Benelux, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, and they put bridges from there, maybe a German. No, what they did when they created the euro bill was to not have any favoritism. They created fictional bridges. The bridges that are represented on the euro notes are not real. Or are they? They weren't real, but because the Netherlands love their bridges, they built those bridges. They took the designs from the dollar bill, the euro bill, and they built the actual physical version of those bridges in the Netherlands. So now all of the bridges that are on the 5, 10, 20, 50, all of the bridges that are on the euro bills are in the Netherlands. That's such a Dutch story. Of course they did. So yeah, they weren't real bridges, now they are real bridges, and they are all located in the Netherlands. So you can, if you check your wallet and your European, you can see some bridges that are in the Netherlands. That's so cool, honestly. Yeah, that's very gimmicky. I really like my fantasy, and I love pirate themed things. So when I see these boats that are more old looking with a lot of ropes, that should be like, we are the euro. When I see these boats with a lot of like all of the cores and everything, like my nerd brain gets so happy when I see these boats appear. This one had a lot of Buddhas and everything, and you probably and you have probably a whole bike route that brings you to all of them. Yeah, probably. Like, and as I say, people in the Netherlands love customizing their things. If you like Buddhas, you and I forget the name of those types of candidates or something, you will decorate your boat with that. Like, everyone makes their own unique stuff. I found this very peculiar. And yeah, all of the masts. Oh, and hello, I have to leave now. Cool pictures and I enjoyed them. And look, long time no see. And I have been practicing quite a bit of Go. Thanks. Like, literally yesterday I was talking about you to a friend of mine. I hope you're having a great time. And I need to send you I need to chat with you sometime. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you. Okay, this is sure thing. Yeah, I will drop you a message. We need to. You probably can relate to life runs, and then life just goes by too fast, and then it's like, oh, I need to send a message to this person, to that person, and things like that. It isn't easy. But yeah, we have a floating tree here, because why not? I think they did like the inserts when you insert a tree into another one, and you can like make, for example, orange tree give apples, or different types of trees. That's something that's very common in architecture, in agriculture, not architecture. Well, why don't we take the roots from a tree and make a floating tree where the roots are connected to other trees? Other countries ask why, the Dutch only ask why not. And you're walking around and I was not looking at anything. I just looked to my side and there's floating trees there. And then there's a building and a face, and it's still growing. Yes, I think it's alive and growing. Only that tree is going to start walking. Yeah. Okay. The next picture. This is one of the most famous attractions in Rotterdam. And this symbol that this is Santa Claus, and the symbol that he's holding, you can see a lot of it represented everywhere. And people who aren't Dutch in chat, what, I mean, maybe your guesses will get you banned. What do you think Santa is holding there? What is that? that thing that he has in his right hand. This Santa Claus is extremely famous, by the way. And you can see the thing he's holding, like, in streets, decorated everywhere. I'll be in trouble if I speak. Let me see if Credon tossed an umbrella. I mean, that's a creative answer, but no, he's Santa. That's clearly a Christmas tree. Why would you get in trouble by talking about a Christmas tree? And you see a lot of Christmas trees shaped like that spread throughout Rotterdam. Yeah, that's Santa holding a Christmas tree. Yeah. Ah, you dirty-minded viewers. I'm glad I have a wholesome and positive community, but yeah, you can see that's not a bum cork. The Santa Claus holding a Christmas tree is one of the famous ornaments. But not making the floating tree. I don't know the timeline. It is one of the famous ornaments in the center of Rotterdam. This one. Oh, this is where I had my lunch there. At the toast. Oh, this is the place that was full of puns. It's time to catch up. Not let Santa to cultivate. It's time to catch up. This place where I had my lunch in Rotterdam was so full of puns. It was terrific. I'm a pun appreciator. So I was at my place and I had a toast. Oh, these are the puns. Bread, not toasted. It's time to... I need to rotate it to catch up. That one we already had. But yeah, there were a lot of puns here in the bread. And I had a... People always tell me that traditional Dutch cuisine is bread and cheese. And there's some truth to that. But it was a good lunch. Like, and it had a sauce that was very tasty. Like, in Dutch, eat like the Dutch. So I had some... toasty. I had some lemonade on the side that was really tasty. What are the other ones? You make me something something. Ah, I cannot read them. I should have taken a better picture of the puns. Oh, this was, of course. When I go to a country, I like to visit the things of that country. Bread and cheese. Yeah, the traditional Dutch cuisine. And peanut butter. Never forget peanut butter. Fries with peanut butter, bread with peanut butter. Patatje oorlog. This was the Warhammer store. And where I live, we don't have one of these. They are very common in the Netherlands. They're very common in a lot of places in the world. Where I live, we don't have one of them. So I was like, oh yes, Warhammer stuff. I like to paint these. I'm a nerd and I don't have nerd things where I live. Let me enjoy this. They're so cool. Look at the models. And there was someone else speaking. Oh, by the way, I like to go on my tangents. I heard like 7 or 8 people speaking Portuguese in total. I was speaking, I speak loudly, especially in the street. I was speaking very loudly and then I look at someone next to me and they were also speaking very loudly and we are all Portuguese and it's like, yep, same culture. And even in the Warhammer store, I found a Portuguese. Yes, I found another Portuguese. He was probably like me. He was probably, we don't have enough Warhammer stores in Portugal. Why do you have Tyranids and Space Marines? Why do you have money for hobbies? This place here, this is also in the center. I think, I could be wrong. I think this is the oldest open-air shopping mall in the world. If it's not the oldest, it's one of the oldest. And hello Arbase! Do you know these places that I'm showing on stream today? Do you know this mythical land known as the Netherlands? Yeah, this is an open-air shopping mall in the center of Rotterdam, and I think it's one of the oldest open-air. I like how you spend your time blocking everyone's. I'm a professional, Axel. I mean, most of my pictures don't have faces, and I arrived yesterday. Legally in a public setting, you can, I think. Probably I can, but I mean, Yeah, I arrived yesterday. I had dinner with Greg around there. Yeah, a couple of weeks back. Then I was here 2 days ago, not a couple of weeks back. But yeah, I like to block the faces of pictures if I have time. I arrived yesterday night. This morning, I had a coffee with a friend. So after lunch, before the stream, I was just like, okay, select the best pictures and let's blur out the faces. Oh, this was something nice in the middle of that open air place. This is marble race. One of those races where like you drop the marbles from the top and you see them bloom, 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 going down the marble thing. But they were traveling through the most important buildings of Rotterdam. For example, there's the cube houses there. Oh, I didn't take pictures of the cube houses because we didn't have time, and I visited the cube houses quite a lot of times before. So some of the biggest Rotterdam landmarks will be missing just because I visited them a lot of times. The cube houses there in the back are one of them. I didn't go to them this time, but they're amazing. And hello Van Vuren. Welcome to the stream. I'm talking about the Netherlands. That wasn't there a couple of weeks back. That's another thing I like about visiting the Netherlands. I visited Rotterdam and Amsterdam many times, and I feel like things are always different. In Portugal, you can wait 10 years and everything, like, every single speck of dust will be in the same place. In the Netherlands, you just keep doing stuff. It's awesome. Things just keep... Okay, this was another new thing for me. They had, like, a petition. I think this was 3 years ago. Like, okay, we're going to build something in the city center of Rotterdam. What do the people want? And the people voted, and a surf pool won the vote. So now, in the center of Rotterdam, in the center of one of the most busy cities, you have surf classes. I was like, what? I also understood because in Portugal we have a lot of Dutch surfers in our coastline. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. You see both Dutch and German surfers come to Portugal a lot. And I mean, building something like this in Portugal makes no sense because of our coastline. But I was like, what? I was flabbergasted. You build a wave pool in the middle of a city and you're having surf classes with everyone around just watching? Oh, you saw one of them in Munich. Nice, nice. And Netherlands is indeed a very beautiful country. I agree. This is more urban, but like the more flowery places, the fields, the windmills, like it's such a picturesque country. It literally looks like a storybook. When I was a kid and people read storybooks to me, my imagination of how things look like is basically the Netherlands. The Netherlands looks like something straight out of a storybook. It has that very nice aesthetic. This, for me, this is chaos, but it encompasses the Netherlands. It encompasses Rotterdam quite well because you have the pencil-shaped building there in the back. You have a building there that has yellow pipes. I don't know why. There is a surfing culture there too. Our coastline very long. True. I mean, your country was a coastline. But, yeah, a lot of surfing culture. And in Germany as well. And, of course, they all come to Portugal because we have nice waves. But, you can see, like, construction work. The Markthal there to the right, which is a very nice building. If you want to eat stuff, go to Markthal. You see the pencil-shaped building, so a lot of chaos here. This is another angle of the same chaos. Oh, this is the inside of the Markthal. It's overpriced. True, but it's convenient. It's convenient in the way that, as a tourist that's not visiting for a lot of places, if you want to try stroopwafels, you have stroopwafels. It has Portuguese food. If you want pastel de nata from Portugal, you have pastel de nata from Portugal in Markthal. So if you go to the Netherlands to eat Portuguese food, I don't know why you would do that, but you have it there. It has the herring. Okay, this is the herring place. Oh yeah, don't buy stroopwafels in Marketal. Okay, okay, I didn't buy any. This time you get scammed. I wonder how much a pastel natto costs there. True. Next time I need recommendations of where to buy stroopwafels. Okay, I have a fun story about the herring place. Just go to the local Albertine. Okay, okay. I mean, yeah, for those of you who don't know, people talk about combinis in Japan. I compare Japan and the Netherlands a lot. People talk about combinis in Japan that, oh, they're the best thing ever, you can get food everywhere. The Netherlands have Albertine. Albertine are the combinis of the Netherlands. You are walking, you're like, oh, I need food. You look and there's an Albertine. There's Albertines everywhere. Every single place. And you need some food, you can get some broodjes, some like fried dough with sausage or cheese with or some kastengels. They're like fried cheese goodness. That's how I describe them. And they're literally everywhere. There's Albertines. When I'm traveling like with a newcomer to the Netherlands, I'm always like, oh look, there's an Albertine. Oh look, there's an Albertine. And I see how long it takes for them to get like, stop talking about Albertine. I'm glad you bought Albertine. I feel like I would be feeling as a streamer if I was doing a travel talk about Netherlands and I didn't dedicate a section to Albertine. It is important. But yeah, my funny story about herring here. Last time I was in the Netherlands, it was not this time. A friend of mine was like, okay, I read about Dutch cuisine and I heard about herring. They say Dutch is very herring. I want to have herring. I was like, that never sounded tasty to me. I never wanted to eat herring, but you do you. And my friend went to this place and he went to the guy and he's like, okay, I want some herring. And the guy who was serving was like, do you want this way or that way? And my friend was like, if you were having it, how would you have it? And the guy who was serving said, I would never eat any of them. Either of them. Like, that's Dutch honesty for you. The Dutch, I feel like, are very straightforward and honest. That's Dutch honesty and straightforwardness for you. My friend did end up eating, and it was like, eh, I can eat it, but it's not that good. But for me, the honesty of you're working at a place, your job is to... I mean, that's fair if you work with fish every day. True. But the way it came across, it was... He sounded like he was saying, like, this is so bad, don't eat this. It's raw fish, I do not like it. Yeah, I never had it. I've had sushi and I've had some dishes with both raw fish and raw food. Raw egg and raw meat and everything, and in trustworthy places I have that. But herring never sounded appealing at all to me. I like it every now and then. Okay, okay. Next time. Yeah, this is the pencil building. It's literally a pencil. And you can see, I didn't go to the cube houses, but you can see the cube houses. They're very... A shame for the stream that I didn't go there. It was not convenient. I was not alone, and sometimes things are in a hurry. When I travel alone, it's different. I couldn't go to the cube houses, but if you search Rotterdam cube houses, you can see them on Google, and they are quite a peculiar sight. And yeah, this is the market hall. Very central building, a lot of food stalls inside from both local food and international food. And now I'm learning... You were at the market hall, they are right there. You're like, yes, I know, it was just crossing the street, I know. This is literally the center of the center of Rotterdam. It was just that, like this is, if you want to visit Rotterdam and you have few time, go to Markthal and the places around. Like, it's the main area to be in. Okay, why this transition from this to this? One thing that I appreciate about Dutch culture compared to Portuguese culture and a lot of cultures is the second-hand stores. In Portugal, I don't know why, I think things are changing now, but if you went 10, 20 years back, no one bought any second-hand thing. No one. And I think it was kind of like a cultural thing of status, of like, even if I don't have money, I don't want to look like I don't have money, so I will never buy something used. And people lived in small villages and communities, and no one would buy used stuff, which is both bad in terms of environment, it's bad for a wallet. It's a really bad culture to have, the culture of not buying used stuff. And I really like how in the Netherlands, I do not feel that at all. I know that people have yard sales like they have in America. Yeah, this is the difference of it. True, there is the Catholic versus Protestant thing. Kringloopwinkels are booming. Oh, I think, yeah, those are second-hand stores, and like a second-hand store in the Netherlands is completely uncomparable to anything we have in Portugal. Like, both in variety of things, and that's why I have this picture, because I was like, what is this? Now I know it's a projector, one of those old style kind of projectors, but I was like, what is this machine? Like, even if you just want to go searching around for interesting stuff like old DVD players, I feel like I was kind of happy that there were not a lot of them in Portugal, but because I feel like I would lose way too much time browsing them. I had a lot of fun, and they are often like 2 or 3 stories. They have everything from paintings to child clothing to, I don't know, parts of things that are broken and you can just buy the missing part that you need. It's DVDs for like DVD. They had PS games, like PS3 games, like Pro Evolution Soccer 2018. What? I mean, let's be honest. Unfortunately, we have a lot of scammers in Portugal. Yes, that's also why people don't usually like to buy second. That's another true thing. Yes, that is. Sadly, I was not remembering that aspect, but that's also very true here. I feel like now with modern platforms, there are some platforms that are better at protecting customers, and that's one of the reasons we see secondhand stores, especially online, things like Vinted and OLX and everything, are growing in Portugal. But I think you're absolutely right. And of course, another thing, I don't want to go too deep into socio-economical things, is that a lot of second-hand stores in Portugal are also means for people to fence off stolen goods. It's how they profit out of stolen goods. Vinted and Marketplace. Oh, this XP... Oh, the XP thing. Oh, that's new on YouTube. That's weird. Yes. I was like... What are you talking about? Yeah, YouTube keeps implementing weird mechanics. You can just ignore it, basically. It's new mechanics. YouTube has things that they should be thinking about, and they add gamification to try to boost engagement. Yeah, Vinted in Portugal lately has been having a huge rise. But yeah, second-hand culture, that this picture was just for me to remind this tangent, and also because I saw this projector and I was like, okay, I need to Google later at home what is. You can turn that off in the settings if you want, Arbase. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I think I can also turn it off for the stream. Okay. I also went to... one thing that is good about the Netherlands as well is that the Netherlands are a melting pot of cultures, a meeting point of cultures. I think in Rotterdam there are people living there from over 170 different countries. And that's quite a lot. I think officially there's like 190 something countries in the world recognized by the United Nations. So if Rotterdam has 170 of them, I'm like, I wonder which ones are the 20 that are missing. So what I mean by that is that if you want foreign stuff, like this was a Japanese style cafe, you can get it with usually quite decent quality. Of course, when I go to a place, I prefer to eat the local food, but since I've been to the Netherlands so many times, they do have great ramen places. Of course, because of historical reasons, Indonesian food is also quite common. The best Dutch food is foreign food. I've heard that quite a bit. And I feel like a lot of the best, like I like some of the Dutch fried food, like the toasties, sandwiches, and everything. But I'm like, I cannot eat this every day. My heart, if I ate all of this, I feel like a lot of traditional Dutch food is just fried this, fried that, or sweet this, sweet that. We have the best snacks. Ooh, that's a hard. But you do have. I did have some peppernoten and kooidnoten. Skillish. Yeah, you're American. Sorry, sir. Son, you're playing that on hard level. Oh, this was my dinner. I went to Brewdog, I think that's the name, and I had a burger and some fries and some. This time I didn't order mayo because I've already had a lot of mayo. I just had some barbecue sauce. Of course, I had some beers to accompany it, and it was so good. Such a good dinner. I even have to zoom in of the burger. Enhance. And yeah, this was in Brewdog in Rotterdam. Quite a good dinner. And yeah, I wish I had more time to walk there in the night. I really love these nighttime pictures. The water, the fact that you have canals everywhere. You can take these pictures with the reflection. They look so nice. And since Rotterdam is more modern looking, it's strange that there were not any South African foods. Yeah, I never seen a lot of South African foods in the Netherlands. I see a lot of Indonesian cuisine. Our base dinner time here. Hope you enjoyed the trip. Thank you very much, and thanks for dropping by. And I hope you also enjoy your own trip as well. Fried everything is mainly eaten as a snack. Traditional Dutch food is like vegetables, potatoes, and a meatball. Okay. Oh no, I was thinking about meatballs, but those are the Swedish ones that are very different from the Portuguese ones and very good. I don't have any mental image of what a Dutch meatball would be. Oh, this is, oh, yeah, journey is ending. This is just my food at the Eindhoven airport. Of course, fried stuff on the right. And then this is this is not my plane. This was about to depart, but alas. Yes, frikandel broodje. The broodjes, I don't know the name of all of them. There's like the sausage broodje, the kaas broodje, frikandel broodje, and there are. I mean, in my country we have Dutch and says yes. So a lot of our food are the same. Yeah. I know. Even the language that I think it's the Afrikaans that is very similar to Dutch. And yeah, this by the way, I was glad I had the time to take this picture while boarding, because I feel like this is one of the best airplane pictures I've taken. With the sky there, with the lines of all the airplanes that took off and landed. I really like how this picture turned out. But yeah, this is me back in Portugal. I mean, this is the first picture. Again, this was 2 hours of me yapping about my first meal in the Netherlands. Yeah, I used Ryanair, not KLM. KLM. I said KLM because that's the port. Yeah, I used Ryanair. Yes. Yeah, because we have now more Dutch people here. The kooidnoten and the peppernoten. By the way, I am team peppernoten now. The kooidnoten I feel like are more normal. I feel like everyone can have kooidnoten and like them. The peppernoten felt like more unique, but I really love the peppernoten. They are made from anise, right? Gasp. Oh no, are you team kooidnoten? But yes. They are made from anise, right? The peppernoten? I love my peppernoten. Nice. Yes. I cannot forget whenever I think about anise. Oh, but usually star anise, exactly. I always remember if I remember correctly, I think it was Wilhelm saying that he doesn't like anise tea, and he was like, why is it called nice if it's not nice? Why is it called a nice? I never forget that moment. Yeah, and of course these are more usually towards the Christmas time, but and the Sinterklaas. But I mean, I was traveling now. I was not going to wait for Sinterklaas to eat the Koinnoten and the Peppernoten, and they were exactly. And there's so much anise-based food here. Yeah, I think I've heard that there's a lot of anise food that is not anise. I do like the anise flavor quite a lot, and the smell of, I never know if I should pronounce anise or anise or anise in Portuguese. The smell of the peppernotum of the anise is so good. I'm just going to go over them real quick for people who join later, but yeah, the Amsterdam canals, boats with grass on top, because why not? The beautiful bicycle with flowers. I don't know. As I said, random stuff just spawns in the Netherlands. There's always an interesting thing to see in every single corner. The traditional, like, more standard streets. I like how... Oh, Githorn, I never... That one, I'm sure I never visit that. Let me see where that is. Ooh, the first picture already looks so lovely. Oh, I will not look at a lot of pictures because I prefer to explore them by myself. But it just popped one picture, and I was like, ooh, I'm sold. So when's the next travel? Okay, Githorn is definitely on my list. Oh no, it's the first Wikipedia entry says it is known as the Venice of the Netherlands. Why does every country have a Venice? I feel like the entire Netherlands are a Venice. They have water everywhere. In Portugal, we have Aveiro, which is like the Venice of Portugal. Every country must have a Venice. Why can't Githorn be known as the Githorn of Netherlands and not the Venice of the Netherlands? No! Do not call every single place Venice. Is that the port? No, it says here. Venice is conquering the world. I mean, in Civ 6, they have some unique mechanics. And if you want to see a lot of old Dutch houses, you should go to that's too hard. Enkhuizen? That one's too hard for me. And go to the Zuiderzee Museum. Okay, I'm taking notes. But yeah, people are asking, where's the next travel? I don't have any scheduled right now. Maybe next travel will be Netherlands again, who knows? I don't have any scheduled. I do want to visit Wales as well. But I don't know what my next travel will be. Now my next focus... You did legit very well. Nice. You start... Of course, it's how languages go. You start noticing some patterns. Like, oh, it's not Zuid, it's Zoud. And you start connecting the dots. And, for example, it's not Gouda, it's Gouda. You start... some pronunciations are still hard, but come visit South Africa. Maybe... I would like to visit, like... I haven't visited any country in Africa yet, or South American, or Oceania. And I would like to, but of course the logistics are harder, and for Europe it's just so easy. With the European Union, you don't even need a visa. It's so easy to travel within Europe. It's traveling. You don't even need a passport to travel within the European Union. It's I mean, I do have a passport. Here we see the Anne Frank house. Beautiful church with the skyline. I do have a passport, but I need to plan my next. Of course, Portugal references are everywhere. The building with grass. I'm just going over the pictures. I don't have that many. I had 500 pictures and I cut them down to 127 for the stream. Some of them because they look too similar, others because they have way too many faces and people, and others because like a selfie. I was not going to share a selfie here. I think my favorite pictures, okay, I do like these two birds because they look like a married couple, and it's like the bottom one is like the husband that arrives home, and the wife is there on top saying, "Why do you smell so much like cigarettes? Where were you? You went to the pub again after work with your workmates." And the one in the bottom is like trying to hide, like, This is the little known very exotic country of the USA. I have visited Texas, and this year I was in Canada. Not the US, but very close. Poor bird husband. Yeah, this is the bird husband arriving home. And the... but yes, Amsterdam. These are the most beautiful pictures for me. Rose-ringed parakeets. Oh, thank you. Oh, parakeets. Oh, they are periquitos. Yes, for me it's so weird because I don't often associate the Portuguese name with the English name. Yes, the parakeets really sounds like the periquito. Yes. Rose-ringed parakeets. Okay. Oh, poor bird wife. True! Poor bird wife! We have the art installation. But it was a fun trip. I don't have any... I mean, I don't have trips on the horizon. Oh, the roses. These are also my top pictures of the stream. Maybe I should share one or two on X, like, beautiful rose, leave a like, and subscribe. I need to up my X game. These ones I really like how the texture looks. They look so frail. And that's another thing. If this was in a public park in Portugal, I can guarantee you like 100% that people will just steal the roses to sell them. Or just out of vandalism. I can guarantee that would happen. The fact that this is not private, that it's just out there in the middle of a park, and they look this stunning, undisturbed, is insane to me. But these ones look especially frail, and I think there's a beauty in their frailty, in how soft each petal looks. Okay, this is me remembering that I got lost. Yeah, the Bitterballen. This is a quick recap. The IKEA Bowl of Rotterdam, the trip to the Euromast, the views. Oh, I didn't show the SS Rotterdam. I think that's the name. But now I can show a picture of which boat I was talking about. I forgot about it when we reached. That one in the back. You can see it in the back there. That's a boat museum. That looks like the Espoir from Kaiji. That thing on the right side, that is quite tall, that is a boat museum. And for me as an engineer, you can go to the engine rooms and you can see the hydraulic schematics and everything. And I'm like, I can read this. I know my hydraulic stuff. I studied this. And a lot of history. It was the boat that traveled a lot from New York to Rotterdam back and forth, like a cruise ship. And I think it's still an hotel to this day. Yes, and then have a few pictures of Rotterdam. Erasmusbrug. I didn't cross the Erasmusbrug this time, but I have crossed it by walk. Let me just check. Yes, it is SS Rotterdam. Okay. I just googled to confirm. And it's like a boat museum that's also a hotel. Like, okay, it's that one in the back. My advice is, if you're going to visit Rotterdam for one day, do not go there. I mean, there's other things, there's more important things. I've spent total... Hotel. I've probably spent 15-16 days total in Rotterdam in my life. Even more, probably. One of those times I went to the both, and it was very worth it. I really enjoyed visiting it, especially because I'm a fan of Kaiji, and if you've watched the anime Kaiji, the first season is aboard a boat, a cruise ship, the Espoir, the Ship of Hope, and they look very similar, and I was like, oh, I'm living in Kaiji. But yeah, it's like a luxury place. You can see things are very beautiful. Of course, you pay a ticket to visit. It's a museum, and you can see the machinery and everything. You can see like the posters. They had like Morse code. They had like in the captains and things quarters. You had like things to help translate. If you had a phone call from the Japanese Navy, how would you answer? Had a lot of guides and everything. It feels like, yeah, I love history, and so I also need to take note of the other places of the other place of the good houses. But yeah, this is Rotterdam. The floating tree. I love taking pictures. The very sus Santa Claus, the Toasty Club full of puns, the Warhammer store. This is just like the recap of the episode, and then I'll end the stream. I'll let you go towards your lives to enjoy your lives. But I do hope you enjoy the stream, and I like the fact I like doing these streams because I'm also doing them for myself. Memories sometimes fade. They do have great interactive kids programs in museums to make it... Oh, Dutch museums in general. I didn't visit any museum this time around. I have a very high opinion of Dutch museums. I visited, for example, the Miffy Museum. Where is that? The Nantes Museum. I visit in... Wait, that's in Utrecht? Okay, I've been to Utrecht, turns out. To Utrecht. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yes. And I visited the Nantes Museum there. Of course, Miffy is... It's funny because I've been to Japan and they love Miffy and everything, and I'm like, oh, do you know that this actually comes from the Netherlands? They're like, what? And it's like, yeah, true. Memories may fade, but the body is eternal. Exactly. But I mean, I visited other museums, like both art museums and things like that, and I think the Dutch, in the end, all cities are so close together, they all blend. Exactly. I agree. And I've been to the Netherlands. It's not like one trip, I've been many times. So my trips do blend together. But I visited the Nantes Museum and some other great museum, both in classical arts or things more modern. Why did I stop on the Harry picture? The pencil, Marktal, the projector, Japanese stuff, good food, nice picture. This can be on wallpaper. Really like how this picture turned out. Fricanel Broja, and we are back at Portugal. Let me go back to my room. Yeah, that was it for today's stream. I really... Anytime I do a trip now, but like in the past I had my Canada trip, I'm so sad that I didn't have time after the Canada trip to share stories and to talk about it, because that was a really fun one. The Canada trip was amazing after my Go tournament, but I was so busy with finishing my PhD. But now I have more free time, and whenever I do both a trip and an event, because even though I'm a VTuber, I am someone who does a lot of offline things. Next one will be Iberanime, the biggest Portuguese anime convention. I will be talking about Go there. Yes, in Iber soon. I will be doing cosplay and everything, and I will definitely make a stream after that. Probably on the 14th of November, if I remember the dates correctly, talking about it. I want to do more streams like this, where I talk about, hey, I did a cool thing, let me share it with you. But yeah, that was it for today, and I hope everyone enjoyed. It was so much fun to hear a foreigner talk so lovely about the country you hail from. It gives a new perspective. Thank you. It was, I mean, every country that I visited, I enjoy some things, and others I enjoy less, of course. But I have a very positive view of the Netherlands, and I'm not the only one. I can tell you with a lot of confidence, and I'm looking at Twitch chat as well when I'm saying this, that there's a lot of Portuguese people, both as people who go to live there and people who do tourism. For good reason, people have a very high image. That would be honestly awesome. Yeah. But yeah, that was it for today. Thank you so much for everyone. Pray for me, homie. Yeah, I know Axel wants to go to the Netherlands. But yeah, that was it for today. I had a really fun time. Thanks once again, Axel, for the renewed sub. Thanks for everyone who dropped by. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I definitely had a blast. I hope you have a great rest of week ahead of you. And maybe I'll see you in the next one where I talk about Go. But if I don't, just drop by when you see something in the schedule like, oh, Nando is doing this. That seems interesting. I'm going to drop by. Yeah, thank you for everyone who joined. You make my streams even more of a joy to me. I used your name, Joy. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.